we will go to see the quail. Hey, quail friends. Any eggs? Hi, Bob. No eggs for me today, man? Alright, peace out. What you want? Oh. Hey, Lucy. Hi, Lucy. Hi, friend hen. Let's go check on the hens. We've been getting some eggs. Hi, Blackbeard. Oh, come on in, Lucy. Come on in. Hi, Lady Jane, Mama Mia. Let's go check the hen house. We have an open run, meaning they don't coop up. Check for eggs. Oh, we have one. Let's see if you can see in here. Oh, there's two. Thanks, ladies. As the days have been getting a little bit longer, and we have some new layers this year, we've been getting, a couple eggs every day. The quail started laying again, so we get 5 every other day, which is pretty nice. Penelope especially likes the little eggs. They're kind of cute. I don't blame her. I tend to wait till we have a whole bunch, and then I'll put them in fried rice or just kind of top off whatever eggs I'm cooking, frittata, that kind of thing. So I'm going to plant myself in the garden, and I'm hoping the wind doesn't destroy the audio. So today I wanted to talk about starting your garden this year for free or cheap. There's a lot of ways to do that. Over the years, Robert and I have had times that we could invest and times that we have to source everything for free or go without. So I want to start with seeds. We'll get with the smallest. We'll just do it progressively. Start where you start and end where you end. The first thing you want to acquire it's debatable, I suppose. Well, let's just say, for the sake of ease, the first thing you want to acquire for your garden are seeds. So in our last video, which was 11 things to plant in your spring garden, we talked about how to acquire seeds for cheap or for free, and I'm just going to go over a couple of them right now. So the first one we recommend is looking at your local library for seed swap programs. Our first year gardening, our library up north in Washington had a free seed swap program. You could go to the library, obtain the seeds, and they just asked that at the end of the season you bring back some seeds from the produce that you harvested. And then they also had fun harvest swaps, which was really cool. So that is one way. Another way is to collect from the food that you're already eating. So if you have a butternut squash or cucumbers or anything like that, you can save the seeds from those. And then the last one is just your online community and online programs. So there are some free online heirloom companies that put out you get 4 free packs of heirloom seeds per year, and I think you can do that per person or per household or something to that effect. So you could have multiple people from your household mail in for those. So then you have to start your seeds, so you have to obtain a few things. You do want to invest in seed starting soil because you don't want to use compost or a low quality soil that has microbes in it that might make it hard for your tender young little seedlings to survive. So invest in good seed starting soil. Organic if possible. You can use to start those, instead of purchasing specific pots for seed starting, you can purchase on Amazon a pack. You can instead you can instead use any food safe container, and I saved a few to share. So here is a salsa container, and I kept the lid so you can have like a greenhouse effect. You can poke holes in the bottom, and then you just don't fill it all the way, and then you can put the lid on top to help keep in the moisture as they germinate. These are also some like mushroom containers. And those are good for either, if you had smaller containers, you could pop like 2 in here for like a bottom waterer, or you can just sow directly into these. Again, just make sure you want to put holes in the bottom for drainage. So you also just want to make sure that any container you're using is a food safe container, because anything that's not a food safe container has the potential to like leach chemicals and things that you don't want in the soil in your nice healthy food that you're growing from home. So another thing you can do, I've seen a lot of people do super successfully, and some people even like swear by it, is to collect your milk jugs and do a Google on like winter sowing. People collect the milk jugs and use them as a sort of greenhouse and plant directly into the milk jugs and then leave them outside, and as the weather is warm enough, then they just germinate in the milk jug, and that's called winter sowing. So you can use your milk jugs for starting seeds, and again, you would just need soil for that. Next is if you wanted to forgo starting seeds and you wanted to do starts, there's a couple ways to do that for free or cheap. One way is to check if anybody in your community is thinning, like raspberries or strawberries, blackberries. You can propagate those, or the raspberries, you can just pop up all over the place. And people often like thin. I had a friend of mine gift me a ton of raspberry canes last year, and we were able to start our raspberry patch. Strawberries throw runners and can grow like weeds, and a lot of people have to thin those out. And so if you just put out there, or some people might just do it out of kindness if you ask for it. So reach out and ask to see if anybody is thinning what they currently have. That goes for bulbs too, if you wanted like daffodils, irises, I don't know what those little purple ones are called, but man, they grow like weeds. And a lot of people, I'm sure, would be willing to dig a few of those up if you wanted to put them in your yard. Another way you can get starts is by swapping. Don't be afraid to try to like barter. So if you bake sourdough bread, or if you can and you have some like apple butter from last year, maybe reach out into the community. We have a local gleaning community, and so it's like a barter, or like people who are done like picking their orchards, that kind of thing. Look into those kind of communities and see if anybody would be willing to barter maybe your seeds for their starts or your services for their starts. Heck, offer to weed somebody's garden and I guarantee that they would be willing to trade you some starts, because I know when I grow tomatoes, I'll grow like 80 plants, but I can only plant like 12 of those in my yard. So I give them away as gifts just because it's something I enjoy doing, and I enjoy starting the tomatoes, but I don't need 80 tomato plants. So yeah, just reach out to your community and don't be afraid to make friends. Next is soil. And for our family, soil is the biggest investment, but there's a couple things you can do to cut the price of soil. Instead of doing beds, which you have to fill with soil and is often very costly, you can instead do a no-dig or back to Eden garden method. And that's basically where you kill off the grass using cardboard and mulch, or cardboard and compost. And there's a couple ways you can do this free. Actually, I'm sitting right in front of a bed. I'm sitting right in front of a couple examples of this. So last year this was all grass, and we just, actually I think we ended up tilling this, but here you can see we've laid down, this was all grass, and we've laid down cardboard and wood chips on that, and that will kill the grass over like the course of 6 to 8 weeks, and eventually it'll break all down into soil, and we'll just continue to put mulch on top of that. So if you're doing the no-dig method, that's often where you just put the cardboard down, put compost down, and put plant directly into the compost. The wood chip method is that it kills the grass underneath. Well, so does the no-dig method, but the wood chips will eventually break down into soil. So the no-dig method is a much more readily available method, but you have to access compost for that method. For the wood chip method, you can access wood chips for free. There is a website called Chip Drop, and they pay the website for information on places where they can dump their chips, and so they'll bring a truckload to you for free and dump it in your driveway, so they don't have to pay to dump it at like waysites. And cardboard, often you can find at any retailer. They have to load the shelves. The byproduct of that is cardboard. You have to remove the tape from the cardboard, but what better way to like upcycle, reuse, and feed the earth than with something that was going to end up at a dump site, right? So we're decreasing trash. So another, mentioned Chip Drop. Another place you can access free wood chips is through your local arborists, so like tree cutting services, and then also electric companies, especially depending on where you are. I know when we were up north, electric companies were paying tree services to trim trees back from power lines, and so the electric companies were looking for places to dump the wood chips after they had been trimmed. So it was a really good way to access free chips. So we've had good luck with those 3 places. Another thing that we've done in the past is in the fall, and sometimes as you're getting closer to the spring, people are breaking up their leaves and their yard waste, and they put it into those big brown bags that you get from like Lowe's or Home Depot, and they put them out on their curbs. We just go around taking those. Probably shouldn't maybe ask. I don't suppose anybody minds. The city picks them up for free, and so that's how we've done it in the past. So that is how we do no dig method. If we do need to access compost, our city has a compost program, and so check for that. Compost is kind of hard to access free. This is the only way I know how, but often it is again our biggest expense. So, but our city has a compost program where they take the yard waste from everybody's like weekly trash, and there's like a separate bin, right, for the yard waste, and they put that at a site where they turn it through the year, and then they load it at a site in town, and you can go and get, like, once it's composted, you can go and get a truck bed of free compost. And so we've used that, and it's done wonderfully. It is not an organic method. It is thought that some pesticides and things like that break down in the composting process, but I'm not 100% sure on that. It still makes me kind of like, because a lot of people spray their yards pretty heavily. So you are looking at that. So do your own research on composting, breaking down like pesticides and herbicides and things like that. And you'll have to decide if you're comfortable using that in your garden. One thing I do want to mention is that the Back to Eden garden, the wood chip method, or mulching your grass to kill it off, does take about 6 to 8 weeks minimum. It's best to do it in the fall. But if you want to start your garden this year, I am adamant that it can be done. You may, if you don't have a lot of heavy rain, you may have to spray it down to break down that cardboard and to help the wood chips break down even further. But last year we were able to mulch in the early spring and plant in that same area. We planted like strawberries and lots of herbs in an area over my side yard where the quail were over there. So lastly, just don't forget to like reach out to like your Facebook Marketplace, or again, just online communities, or yard sales, even if you have the time for that, thrift stores. Don't forget to like upcycle. We have reclaimed brick in our yard that is much harder to use than we anticipated, but we do use it to like line beds and line borders and garden beds. We have upcycled pallets for our chicken house in our open run. We've used pallets for our compost bin. We take the wood down to use it to supplement various fixtures and trellises through the yard. Like there's this table back here we've had forever, and it is just beat down, and this year we're going to turn it into a potting bench. So just don't forget to upcycle. That's a really great way to do things for free or for cheap. And lastly, do it now, right? Because if you don't get these things done right now, then by summer or spring, they're not going to be ready for you. So stop thinking about it, just go do it. Start planning your dream garden right now, because if you wait, then it's just going to be one of those things that escapes you. And then don't forget to share your garden spaces with me over on my Instagram, the Morris Microstead. I'd love to see what you guys are dreaming up, and I can't wait to see all your urban and microstead garden spaces. And that's it for today. I hope you guys found this useful. Please thumbs up if you liked our video. Don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to put out new videos every single week. I'm really excited now that we're headed into a warmer season. You're going to see a lot more in the garden, which is my passion. I'm absolutely in love with the garden. And that's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. God bless you guys, and happy homesteading. Bye.